Hey guys, welcome back to Movie Geek Channel with another video, and this is another installment of the Criterion Corner Series. I decided to give it a bonus episode for the month of October, talk about this particular film that just blew me away when I first watched it. It was a notable one. It was a very wonderful experience for this movie. It was a perfect day for me to watch in the month of October. So it was Halloween Day. It was October 31st, and it was a raining day. So I was like, you know what? Luke Ryan, aka Razor Wire Review, talk about this movie and how much he loved this movie in his silent film marathon when that video, and I love that video by the way. And he literally talked about this movie, how a masterpiece it is, and why he loved this movie. That almost immediately caught my attention, and I bought the film on the 50% off Criterion sale because of his review on his positive, rave review about this particular film. So it was a raining day. I decided, you know what? Let's watch this movie for the very first time. It's a silent film, and I love silent films. I'm a sucker for silent films. I'm a big fan of silent films, if you can tell. I have a dedicated show for silent films. Um, but this, not, I was, after I finished this movie, it was a particularly notable day that I saw this particular film that I'm talking about in the same day I saw Halloween 2018 version that just came out in theaters. I just had to wait for a couple of weeks until I watched on Halloween Day to see Halloween 2018 on Halloween Day. So I did a double bill basically. It was a raining day, and it was a perfect day for me to watch this movie. So it blew me away after I finished this movie, and after driving all my way to the movie theater to watch Halloween 2018 version, I couldn't stop thinking about this movie. I couldn't. And obviously, when Halloween 2018 movie starts, I think about the Halloween 2018. That particular movie has gone away. But when I finished watching Halloween 2018 film, that movie came back to my brain again, and I couldn't stop thinking about how remarkable film it is. And that film is Spine 579, The Phantom Carriage. What a film. This is a character piece. This is a film that only focus on the story, if that makes any sense. A story that's very impactful, very powerful. Yes, so beautiful in a way that you just mind blown. I was mind blown watching this movie, and I can understand why Luke Ryan loved this movie. And honestly, I'm glad I love this movie. It's phenomenal. It's a masterpiece. Directed by and starring by Victor Sordstrom, if I pronounced that correctly. I don't want to give the plot to you guys because I want you guys to experience this movie for the very first time. But I'm going to share my thoughts on this movie, my experience with this movie. So, I go in and watch this movie by the wave reviews by the wave review by Luke Ryan. I was like, maybe I'm gonna love this movie, maybe, and I did. Sure enough, I did, and I love this movie by the story, by the characters, the journey that this film takes on. It was an experience that needed to be seen for the very first time. And I kind of wish that this is one of the film that, man, you're not going to experience the same feeling that I did watching this movie for the first time again. This is one of those films that is so invested. You have to invest watching this movie. You have to be in the mood watching this movie. Now, I was in the mood watching this movie because it was a rainy day. And I was just glued to the screen. How remarkable this film is. Not just the story, but the technical aspect of this movie. They used like a really early editing techniques that are basically at the time was a visual effect. It was not really a visual effect because they didn't have green screen, any of that. They had to use really smart and clever editing techniques. A lot of dissolves in this movie that just blew me away at the time. It was 1921. This is a very old movie. Granted, back in the day, they didn't have a very special high-end technology that we have nowadays. It blew me away how clever yet well done and well timed. The editing techniques was shown in this movie. It blew me away. So the story is basically like a Christmas Carol type of story, and almost like an It's a Wonderful Life story as well. It deals with a man going through this life, this change of life basically, and that's where you see the journey from. And something about that is very physiological, cathartic moments. Just you were so invested to the story. You just cannot look away. You're still glued to the screen. And this is one of those films that I did not look away. I didn't use my phone. I was watching the movie. I was following the story. I was following the character was just going through. And and also I kind of wish I saw this in New Year's Eve because this film takes place in New Year's Eve, but I didn't because it does feel like a horror film. That's why I decided to watch this on October because this cover reminded me of a lot of spooky films, and there were a lot of times it's very spooky, but it's not just about the spooky tale. It's about the character piece that goes through, and that's what makes this film so great. That it's a character piece. It's all about the characters. It's all about the character emotions and how we at the audience feel for the character, and how we see at the audience he experienced going on, that the change of life. Something about that watching that movie, watching that journey go through is just rewarding in a way. Like in the end of the film, it feels rewarding, and I love that. I love that about that. And there were a lot of moments that's so heartbreaking that you feel for the characters, you feel for it, and that's made it very impactful. After watching this movie, when I was in the car on my way to the movie theaters, like about to watch Halloween 2018 of the film. While I was driving, I couldn't stop thinking about this movie. I couldn't stop thinking about the characters and the journey that I saw, and that moment. There were a lot of moments that's just so heartbreaking. It's all about his expression, his emotion that is conveying on screen. It's just a very Oscar-worthy performance. And that climax of the film, that last 20 minutes, 10 minutes about that one time, I was edging my seat watching this movie. I want to know what's going to happen. What's going to happen next. How it's going to end. How we're going to wrap it up. How the story going to wrap it up. It was beautiful, yet powerful, yet so rewarding, and you just feel for the characters. And this is another example that making this film, writing a script or a story, you have to care about the characters. You have to see and expand and fully developed of the character. This is an example of what making a compelling, complex, character-driven story with a touch of fantasy, with a touch of the subject matter that it goes on, that he was an alcoholic and he had not a very good life. But what makes it so compelling to watch, so engaging to watch, that just made me immediately glued to the screen was his character journey, the change of what he will become. It's just so beautiful to watch, so heartbreaking, but yet rewarding. That's a key word for this review, rewarding. And I remember, like, during my call, I was like, yep, I can fully understand what Luke Ryan was talking about this film. And I can understand why he loved this movie. And, come on, I love this movie. I do. And I think this film could be a great triple feature watching The Phantom Carriage, It's a Wonderful Life, and A Christmas Carol. Because they all have that similar story arc, that story beats. No, not beats, but like the same concept, if you will. And honestly, I'm so glad I watched this movie on Halloween Day. It was a raining day, so it's like it was match made in heaven. It was perfect day. It was a raining day. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down and watch The Phantom Carriage while I kill time to watch Halloween 2018. But there's a lot of moments I just don't want this film to end. I want this film to continue and continue and continue. And this is literally in the top 5 favorite, best silent films of all time. I mean, this is a phenomenal film. A phenomenal film. And I highly recommend watch this movie. Going in blind and cold, knowing nothing, and experience this movie for the first time. Even even some people are not a fan of silent films. Just give it a watch. It's phenomenal. It's a character journey. It was rewarding, and it's just a beautiful, heartbreaking story that's just so an experience. It was an experience for me to watch this movie, and it's made a film that's so ambitious but so well done. It's so well done, and that's why I love this movie. Is how brilliant and beautiful and heartbreaking film it is, and how invested I was watching this movie for the very first time on Halloween day in a rainy day. And I love this movie. That's all I can say. I love this movie. Phenomenal, phenomenal film. There you go. There you have it, guys. This is my thoughts on the Phantom Carriage. Look, Ryan, you're watching this video. Yeah, I love this movie like you do. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Follow me on Letterboxd, link below, and my Twitter. And yeah, have a great day. Take care.